Well, thank you so much for hopping on. I'm really, really excited to be joining you today and chatting. Where are you today?
I'm at my mom's house. I was gonna tell you, like, so you know why I'm just in this kitchen right now.
Nice.
My mom's in Phoenix, so I told her I was doing this. You have to see this. Like, she made me this like whole tray. She's so cute.
Oh, wow. Lovely.
Yeah, I'm
Lovely.
very family oriented, so I'm just like hanging out in Phoenix right now.
It was just Thanksgiving here in Canada, and because we have different Thanksgiving than in
Why
the
did
US.
I never knew that. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, ours is like early October. And I unfortunately was not able to go see my family. I'm
Oh,
living quite far from home now, but I had some friends over and we did like a little friendsgiving thing, so that was nice.
so I don't always get to go home for Thanksgiving, but I'm here. Like, I think this year I'm not going home for Thanksgiving, which like I always miss. My family makes a very particular. It's like the same thing every year, but it's still nice to like do it with friends. I think just as long as there's food around, it's
Yeah, yeah, exactly. No, it was fun, like putting together the whole spread. We've only done it a few times. Like I've only done it a few times, like on my own.
yeah. I mean, I don't cook either, and I've been like forcing myself to do something the past couple years. Like last year I just did pumpkin pie, but this year I'm gonna do one of those like sweet potato marshmallow casseroles and see if I can pull that off. So it also kind of forces me to get better at cooking every year. So
Nice, nice. I had never had the sweet potato marshmallow thing until I met my partner. Her family does that, and I blew my mind. I was like, "This is
it's like
amazing."
a weird combination of ingredients, but it's so good. I also don't dislike anything. So like when on holidays like that, like I'm just like I want everything that anyone is bringing. Like I'm gonna eat
Yeah,
all of
absolutely. Put it all on the plate, you know. Everything's gonna blend together. It's whatever. It's all
it.
good. Thanks again for hopping on. I'm really excited to be talking to you today and going through this. So have you had a chance to try the Good Mood Mix yet?
No, I haven't. I actually like was really excited because I saw that it's blue raspberry and I love blue raspberry, but I kind of wanted to make sure like I was doing I mean, I know it's probably fairly simple, but I was like I'll try it when we're like doing this and see like kind of a little taste test too so that way I don't know what it tastes like.
Perfect, awesome. We'll get a genuine first reaction then.
Mhm.
Since you mentioned the blue raspberry, let's start with that one. And yeah, I'll take you through like what we found to be like the most effective mixing process. Yeah, so basically like you've had psychedelic water obviously because this is not our first time
Yeah.
talking or doing anything together. But the general idea with this was that we just wanted to basically take what we'd created with psychedelic water and make a powder version of it. But yeah, if you'll just want to, get that open, we got the nice little easy tear there, and then there's quite a bit of powder in there, so I always just usually just tap the bottom to get it all to kind of come out.
Mm. This smells so good already. I'm excited.
Nice, good. And then usually what I'll do is I'll just pour a bit of water in to start, just to kind of like cover it, and then I'll blend it with just the like a third of the cup of water or whatever. I always like to use these little like coffee whisks. I found these are really like efficient, but a spoon always works fine too.
I have like a little straw that I'm gonna use. Ooh.
All right, so once you got that mixed up, then I'll just add the rest of my water usually, and then that's it. That's the basics. Obviously, this mix you can put it in with like mocktails and stuff like that, which is what another like idea that we had with making the powder is that we know a lot of people who like psychedelic water like to add it to mocktails, so this just makes that a lot easier because you don't have to open a whole can. You can just kind of add the powder into whatever you're mixing up.
I add ice to mine.
Good call. Yeah, I chilled my water, but yeah, I on ice is always better for sure.
Okay. I think we're good. There we go. Okay. Shall we taste? Oh my god, that's really good. It is very different from the canned ones.
Yeah, it's like the same. It's the same active ingredient, kava, but it's not carbonated, so that comes off very different. It's also our first caffeine-free one, and yeah, the flavors are very different.
Yeah, I love this. I knew the blue raspberry would hit.
Yeah, yeah. The idea with these was to go with the kind of like, very sweet, big kind of popular flavors. Just because powder can be a little finicky, and we want it to have that like appeal for like mixing it up with other stuff. So
Yeah, this is like super easy, like to put in water bottles and stuff too. I'll definitely do this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I was thinking like obviously when we sent you some for the tour, like we sent you a bunch of cans, but like these are much more efficient for something like that.
This is like really convenient too when you just have water.
How was that whole tour? I'd love to hear like your because that was that your like largest tour to date, like in terms of number of
Uh,
dates?
I've done one similar to that. It was probably actually around like the exact same length, but that was in 2019.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it was but it just been so long that it felt like yeah, it did feel like I'd never done it before because it was just it had been like pre-COVID that I had toured. I kind of did like a few shows the year before when things were still just kind of getting back and like there's not a
Yeah,
lot of shows yet. Everyone was like a little bit weirded out. I didn't even do like meet and greets because I was still kind of like I don't know what's
yeah.
safe. Um, and that was just like four shows on the East Coast. But this one was definitely like jumping back into it without doing like a 6 week tour. So it was really fun. It was just like that perfect amount of time to kind of dip your feet in and then like not get so exhausted by it. Because by the end of it, I was starting to like, you don't have that many off days. We also were just in like a minivan. So on our off days, we're just driving 13 hours. But it was just like the perfect amount of time where if it had gone longer, it probably would have been necessary to have like more days off or just like it would have been better to get a bus or something like that. But for what it was really fun and like kind of doing it on a budget ended up making it something really sentimental to me because we just kind of like worked our asses off. But it was really fun.
Good. I'm glad. I loved following along throughout it. Obviously, I was keeping an eye on what you were up to. Um, how did, because it was you guys who reached out to us first. Was it you or was it Chandler who originally like
It had,
spotted us or?
I think it had to be Chandler, but you know what? I think it was from. I think you guys did something with. I could totally be wrong here. I think you guys did something with Carly Hansen.
Yeah, we had
Yeah,
we had done something with Carly Hansen. Yeah.
I know Carly and I think I don't know if I'd seen it or Chandler had, but also like we're tight with like Joel Madden and stuff, so everything kind of just like clicked into place, and yeah, it was just really cool to find like a partner like you guys too, because it's not a lot of people are really supporting artists like that, and also something that I genuinely could get behind. That I was like, this is a really interesting thing for somebody that's touring sober and like looking for remedies for that and like the anxiety and things like that that actually makes sense to me and like feels like something that I could back. So it was just really cool to find you guys.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, because yeah, that's right. That was one of the initial things that we connected around is that you are sober from alcohol, right?
Yeah, and I still like I struggled with that in the beginning of the year for sure. It was hard on tour. Like there was like a couple times that I did drink and then I was just like, yeah, I can't. Like I was like there was like one time in the beginning of tour that I did drink and then I was like, yeah, I can't like do this the rest of tour because it just gets so hard. It's like around you. It's like built to it's just alcohol is like immediately around you. There's free you get free drink tickets if you're performing. There's a bar at the venue. There's drinks in your green room. It's really hard to avoid, but you just have to have the right people around you. Because I think when I was kind of communicating this more to like my manager, that was my TM, and my drummer and like people around me, you kind of just like I'm like, all right, you guys do whatever you want. Like I need to chill a little bit because like I can't
Hmm.
kind of get into that. So yeah, it's definitely tough, but I think I've now been sober since then, like since like that one time. So but even before that, I had been sober for like a year. But
Hmm.
it's just it's tough, but it's definitely worth like sticking it through and kind of figuring out things like psychedelic water that can kind of just give you like even just like having something in my hand like it's that simple sometimes where I just feel like I'm not like standing over here being a loser. So it's just things like that to kind of try to find substitutes for things that ease your anxiety when it's a high stress situation like tour. um,
Hmm.
but it was definitely really fun and it was a cool experience.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I definitely feel you on like the effect of just having a can that looks vaguely alcohol-ish in your hand, and how that both like internally like reduces your sort of like anxiety about it, but then even externally people being like, "Oh, do you need another drink?" or "Why aren't you drinking?" or whatever. It reduces that a lot too.
Feels like having like an oral fixation or something with like cigarettes, which I used to also smoke, where it's like just like having something to smoke. It feels like that, where just like having something to sip on, even if like it's not, getting you drunk or necessarily. It's like it's just it feels good in a room to not be asked every 2 seconds if you want to drink or anything like that. So it's definitely like a psychological thing too.
It does help that our drink does have some mild mood effect.
Times I would drink it before I would go into the venue and do sound check and stuff, just because like getting off the road after being in the car all day and then like getting to get there and kind of relax, like that would be the perfect timing for me too, as well as like before getting on stage when I'm super anxious. That's when I feel like the average person would be like, I'm gonna take a couple shots, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
cannot do that. I've never done. I could like it just scares me like how I would perform if I just like took a couple shots and ran on stage. So for me, like finding alternatives that can like mildly calm you down and just make you feel a little bit more comfortable, like that was just really cool for me to have during that time.
I guess just then beyond that, what is coming down the pipe for you, I guess? Like what's
Well, first of all, like just going back a year, it's almost been a year since Girl Next Door came out, and that was just such a process. It was such a lot of hard work that I don't know people knew the extent of, because it was really just like me and Chandler, and just like making everything happen was a lot of work. And then to come into this year and have the In My Head situation, which was just so amazing and has done so much for me. Like we randomly, I don't know if you saw this in my story, we got in Beat Saber,
I
which
saw
was just
that.
like I was like that. My 12-year-old brother would probably go insane. It's like such a cool random thing. Like so, it's kind of opened a lot of doors, and like being embraced by Mike has been awesome. And obviously, we did the tour. I just put out the song with Magnolia Park, so I'm kind of just like I've just been like spending a lot of time relaxing, and like I have been making music. I've been working on an album, but um, very much on my in my day to day life, just kind of like letting it simmer for a little bit because it was nonstop for like a year. And but I'm really excited to kind of see what sonically we're doing next, and where I want to go, because it was such a big thing making that last album, and I had like such a specific vision that I'm curious to see like what is kind of inspiring me now. And it's been interesting to be inspired by different things too, because I was super on my like 90s Alanis type thing, and now I'm like, I love that, and it was what it was, but I'm always kind of like completely pivot, and I feel like that's what I'm feeling right now. So I'm kind of just curious to see like where it goes from here, and that's kind of what I'm like gathering the
Nice.
inspiration. uh, to live a little bit of life before I like dive into an album, which is kind of what I'm
Yeah,
doing
no,
now.
that makes
So
sense. That makes sense. No, and I mean, like, yeah, that's coming off that process. You well deserve the rest for sure. Between big tours and album launches and working with Mike and whatnot. Yeah, it's I can see needing the break after all of that for sure. But I really appreciate you
are
hopping
we
on
back?
and chatting with me, and I hope you enjoy Good Mood Mix.
I need more of the blue raspberry for sure. Thank you for having me though.
Thanks so much, Kaylee. It was really great talking with you.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, awesome. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.